Semiconductor chips are to this century what crude oil was to the last. In this episode, let's dig a little deeper in the ongoing chip shortage crisis and how it is affecting manufacturers like me. A recent phone call with a customer alerted me to the ongoing chip shortage crisis. He mentioned that almost 60% of his business depends on the automotive industry, and he is facing cancelling of orders, slower demand from the major car manufacturers since they are cutting back on their production. And the reason they gave him is the global semiconductor shortage. Now, this got me interested, and I decided to dig a little deeper to find the real reasons behind this shortage and the crisis. Lockdowns imposed by all the countries during the COVID-19 pandemic are the main reason for this global chip shortage. During the pandemic, because of the lockdowns, the chip manufacturing facilities had to be shut down, and which depleted the inventories of the chips. Moreover, all of us were either studying or working from home, which increased the demand for computers, laptops, network adapters, internet, home entertainment systems, and things like that. And so the chips, which were made for the automotive industry, got diverted to non-automotive applications. To give you an example, the sales of traditional computers increased by almost 26% during the last quarter of 2020. In September 2020, as part of the economic conflict between US and China, the US's Department of Commerce imposed restrictions on China's largest chip manufacturer, the Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, SMIC, and they made it harder for them to sell to companies with American ties. These restrictions forced these companies to find or source these chips from other manufacturers, like the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, TSMC, or Samsung. However, these companies were already manufacturing at their maximum capacity. A severe winter storm in February 2021 forced the closure of two plants in Austin, Texas, owned by Samsung and NXP Semiconductors, setting back the supply from these plants by several months. Taiwan is the leader in the semiconductor industry, with TSMC alone accounting for more than 50% supply to the global wafer foundry market in 2020. However, in 2021, Taiwan experienced its worst drought in more than half a century, leading to problems for these chip manufacturers, which use large amounts of ultra pure water to clean their factories and the wafers. Just to give you an example, TSMC's facilities use more than 63,000 tons of water a day, which is almost more than 10% supply from two local reservoirs. Today's average car has between 14 to 1500 chips inside them. Some may even go up to 3000 chips. Cars account for almost 15% of the total global chip production capacity, while personal electronics account for almost 50%. The revenues from non-automotive sector is much higher compared to the automotive sector for these chip manufacturers. It is estimated that this global chip shortage will cost the automotive industry almost $210 billion in 2021. At the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, car manufacturers incorrectly predicted that the sales would go down, and hence they cancelled their chip orders. However, after the pandemic and lockdown-like conditions were over, the car manufacturers were not prepared to meet the pent-up demand. Meanwhile, chip manufacturers had commitments from non-automotive sectors, and hence they diverted their chips towards these sectors, reducing the capacities for car chips. All of us prefer having a safer car with advanced driver assistance systems And these are made possible because of these semiconductors. Intelligent functions like backup cameras, lane change assist, emergency braking systems are all made possible because of the use of these chips. Like everything else, we expect our cars to be smart. New vehicles on the market have ever more sophisticated telematics, that is, long range data transmission, and infotainment capabilities, which feed the drivers information such as road closures, collision avoidance, and even free parking at the destination. The onboard computers handle this information by processing millions of lines of codes every second. Semiconductors or chips allow these cars to be connected in real time. During the festive season of 2021, the retail vehicle sales saw a decline of almost 18% compared to the same period last year, according to Federation of Automobile Dealers Association (FADA). Due to the ongoing global chip shortage, coupled with increased raw material prices and fuel prices, are affecting the overall sales of vehicles in India. According to an industry expert, almost all car manufacturers are facing backlogs. Now, all of them have the production capacity to fill up the backlog, but due to the global chip shortage, they are losing out on sales. This backlog translates to 25,000 crore of lost or postponed sales for the car segment alone. Setting up a chip manufacturing company, also known as Fab, is very capital intensive. Setting up a fab requires an investment to the tune of almost $3 to $5 billion, which is very high for a lower middle income country like India. Besides, we need uninterrupted supply of power, clean water, and silica. Fabs need to be protected from extremely small impurities of the order of ppm, that is parts per million, and it takes extraordinary effort to maintain the clean rooms, since even a small impurity will change the characteristics of the chip. Maintaining that kind of cleanliness and following stringent manufacturing practices is a challenge in our country. India does manufacture chips on a very small scale for applications like defense and space research at fabs present in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and SCL, Mohali. However, manufacturing chips on a larger scale is altogether a different ballgame. The manpower required for this industry is extremely skilled, which takes decades to nurture and develop. Countries which are at the forefront of this industry today, like Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, USA, started nurturing this talent back in 1970s, and hence we are far behind in this game. The current chip shortage may not be solved immediately, with some experts saying that the global car production will be under pressure till 2023. However, this does give engineers like us an opportunity to develop R&D capabilities to avoid a crisis like this in the future. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode of the Think Filter Show. For more such analysis, please stay tuned.